All right, this is part 3 of Star Forts, Atlantis, and the Ark of Resonance. Real quick, we left off talking about Queen Semiramis and after the flood. I've posted it like twice on my page, but I'll post it after this. The story of Queen Semiramis. It's so important because it helped me rewrite the entire human history once I understood what the truth was. You should definitely watch it. All right, hopping back in to the monologue here. So here we go. Tartaria was Atlantis reborn in miniature, the ghost of giants rendered for smaller men, the bridge from the codex of the flood to the cities of the present. And here's the most dangerous revelation. Maybe it wasn't 12,000 years ago. Maybe the timelines are a lie. Maybe the flood was near and Tartaria was not ancient but recent. That is why the star forts still pulse. That is why their geometry resists decay. Either the resonance bends time itself, or history has been telescoped and twisted until we can no longer see straight. And I know, they added 1,000 years and then the millennial reign during the Dark Ages, but I'm talking about something different. But the truth is simple. Atlantis did not die. It went underground. It became Tartarus. Tartarus resurfaced as Tartaria. The exiled giants became the hidden emperors. Their architecture, 5,400 geometric cities, 2,200 star forts, mapped to water and energy lines. It's still here. Their rituals, obelisks, and domes locked in sex magic polarity still structure our capitals. Their resonance, arc bubbles of water, stone, and geometry still resist entropy. This is why the maps whisper Tartaria, then erase it. Why the canals were paved over. Why the forts are called ruins. Because if you connect the dots, the whole spell unravels. You realize that sacred geometry is the real operating system of the earth. You realize history is layered, harmonic, cyclical, a pearl of civilizations nested inside each other. You realize the empires of today are parasitic, living on stolen resonance, reusing Atlantean grids as inverted ritual machines. The forts are not ruins. The cities are not random. The obelisks are not monuments. They are signals. They are machines. They are still singing. And once you hear it, you can never unhear it. In New Mexico, near Fort Union at Watrous, the imprint of a star fort is still visible in the earth like a scar. The geometry unmistakable, even though the structure itself is long buried. The geometry survives longer than the material. Dirt and stone may crumble, but the harmonic outline persists because it was carved in resonance with earth currents. Even in the desert, the star was placed beside the rivers and aquifers because water was the wiring of the system. The first time I found this image, I saved it 6 years ago. Almost like a breadcrumb I was meant to hold on to. Proof that these forts are more than military ruins. They are arc bubbles of resonance, hidden in plain sight. The Moore River flows along the northern edge of the Watrous before joining the Canadian. The Sapelo River winds in from the west. This junction created a fertile valley, a gathering point for tribes, travelers, caravans. And 8 miles north, the star lies on the terrace above those rivers. That's not coincidence, that's design. Because in harmonic terms, water was never decoration. Water is the conductor, the living current. The star resonates only if that current is present. Not the cavalry fort. Older, far older. Maybe Atlantean in origin. And the way it was built proves it. On the high terrace where the Mora meets the Canadian, small weirs could peel off a quiet current. Canals would hug the contour. So subtle, you'd miss them unless you knew what to look for. They were fed a polygonal rim carved into the land and lined with piezoelectric stone. From there, water ran down radial arms into each point, each one built from crystalline materials that could amplify the charge. A cistern at the center equalized the flow, and the overflow channels returned the water politely to the floodplain. It wasn't waste, it wasn't cycle, it was resonance. Even the stone is gone. The earth remembers. LiDAR still catches the ring. The grass still grows greener where the canals once flowed. Carbonates still crust where the outfalls breathed. That's how you know, not from textbooks, but from the way the land itself holds geometry of water. And here's the paradox historians never face. If you think like a builder in the 17 or 1800s, the story of the star forts as a military outpost collapses. First, efficiency problem. If you're a colonial army under fire, you don't waste years carving a perfectly symmetrical star into the land. You wouldn't haul and cut piezoelectric stone, shaping it into fractal geometry just to fire cannons. You'd build square bastions, quick palisades, straight trenches. Fast, dirty, defensive, not harmonic geometry. Second, the precision problem. These weren't close enough shapes. They are mathematically precise pentagons, hexagons, octagons, radial symmetry measured down to the degree, built from stone that carries piezoelectric charge. That requires surveying, astronomical knowledge, sacred geometry, and an understanding of resonance far beyond what's needed for the battlefield. Third, the energy problem. They are always tied to water, rivers, canals, moats, braided into the geometry like veins in a body, lined with piezoelectric stone to turn flowing water into charge. For defense, that's overkill. Really? You think that's going to protect you? For resonance, it's everything. Fourth, the reuse pattern. Look at Fort McHenry, Fort Ticonderoga, Fort Pulaski. The armies didn't build them, they occupied them. They reused resonance chambers they didn't understand. To them, these strange earthworks with crystalline cores just made good walls. They squatted in them, fired cannons from them, and called them forts. That's the cover story. And then there's the biggest paradox of all, the terraforming itself. These weren't just structured places on flat ground. The land itself was carved into stars, moats, bastions, ramparts, entire landscapes reshaped with piezoelectric material into perfect fractal geometry. That's Earth moving on a scale even modern excavation would struggle with. Some of these involve millions of tons of soil shifted and lined with stone to hold harmonic shape. Colonial militias with shovels and oxen didn't do that. The angles themselves align with phi, pi, Vesca Pisca, sacred ratios. The same star geometry appears across Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas, long before globalization. Are we supposed to believe every colonial army on different continents independently wasted years carving stars into stone, hauling piezoelectric materials and aligning them to rivers just for cannon defense? Or is it more logical they inherited them from an older grid system? The answer is clear. These weren't forts, they were resonance machines, land harmonics, Atlantean terraformers carved into the earth itself, channeling rivers into perfect loops, lining them with piezoelectric stone, laying out with resonance grids across continents. The moats were conductor loops. The bastions were resonance nodes. The star geometry wasn't defense, it was containment. Arc bubbles of coherence that bent time and resisted entropy. Colonial armies didn't build them, they reused them. They camped inside Atlantean machines, tuned harmonic architecture into military bases, and called them forts. That's the camouflage. But the earth remembers, the geometry remembers, the rivers remember. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hope you have a great night. Hope you enjoyed this short series. The video for Queen Semiramis, I'll repost after this. Hope you have a great night. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.